Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Designer Speak. I'm your host Christopher Scott, and today I'm with Nicolas Camacho and Santiago Gómez. This question of this topic came from Historian Baluga from Sweden, and the topic is, how is design in South America? So Nicolas, for you, what do you feel, or what's your feelings or thoughts about design in South America?
Well, thank you, Christopher. Basically, understands that sociologically speaking, in South America, I don't think there's enough connection between design, the product market, and society. Somehow we have design. Somehow people are expressing themselves, mostly politically. But I think there's a bridge. I think there's like a separation between the technology that we need, that we can create, the progress that we can make socially by communicating certain ideas and expressing them and leading the people forward toward common goals, and what the governments are doing and what people are doing, like independent designers are doing. Are they not being backed up by the government and stuff like that? That's what I feel. And I think that design should be treated different in our countries. I think that design is a vehicle for innovation and transformation of societies. I think there's this vehicle, this way to transport our hopes, our aims.
Design is so powerful.
It's so fundamentally. But the thing I feel is that the government don't treat it as the way to visualize a desire for future.
Like for example, like in America or in certain parts of Europe, design is essential. But maybe you feel, is it like the design in South America isn't really important?
It's not being treated as it should. Sometimes I think maybe governments, maybe even the society is thinking, do we need design? But don't they realize that design is everywhere? In every presentation of the things, in a cup, in a table, in the way you dress, in the way you can design a camera, the way you can.
That's the thing, Nicolas. I think that people don't understand in mostly South America is that if you don't have good design, if you don't have a good logo, good branding, you can't be a successful company.
It's wrong.
And I don't think South America understands that. But I think in London and New York, Berlin, Germany, they understand that. They understand that branding, and that's why in other parts of the world they invest so much money into design. But I think here in South America, if your cousin can use Photoshop, or if your cousin can use Illustrator, or your granny can use Illustrator, then they can make a logo, but that's not, or they can make a poster, they can make a design.
The problem is, for me, they don't make a research about it. If you have your granny or if you have your cousin or something like that, they don't make a research.
No, they just do something simple, 2 minutes on Illustrator.
They think that we made in the second episode, they think the computer is going to resolve the trouble, the problem.
They think that computer is design.
The computer is
design. I think that's actually more, in South America, people actually think that the computer is everything. In most, like if you go to London,
more than the computer, the technology.
The technology is everything. And but that's the thing. Like for me in South America, there's maybe less technology than there is in other countries. But in South America, they think that, or they value that's whatever technology they have as essential for design. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think that in other parts of the world, they value more and they spend a lot of money. Like for example, the London Olympics. Do you hear the story?
Yeah, the logo.
The logo that they made was designed by Wolf Olins for the London Olympics. Yeah. And the logo was like 500 million.
Wow.
Do you ever imagine a South American company paying like $100,000 or like $50,000 on a logo? That's never going to happen.
Another problem. The design on South America is undervalued.
It's undervalued.
So if you are a designer, I say this for my country in Ecuador. If you're a designer, you have your degree, and you go to work in I don't know, to make papers or something like that, how much you're going to have, like,
Basic salary.
Basic, and that's the thing. That's probably the biggest problem in South America. Actually, is that, and there's so much talented people, and there's so much. Probably there's more talent in South America in design than there is in other like America and in Europe,
other countries.
in other countries. That's another situation. But it's so difficult for the designers in South America because there's so little resources, or there's so like you think, Nicolas, like if you design a logo in Ecuador, like maximum you're going to get is like $100. That's crazy. But like, and you know yourself like how much investigation, research, knowledge goes into it, but they don't pay enough.
I think one of the basic problems in America to be understood is people don't realize what is the role of a designer. The role of a designer in different countries have been like social changers. They have been
They change society.
This transitional character that helps people understand a goal, a dream, and a neighbor, and they somehow unify all the collective unconscious, the people's dreams, and people work toward that idea. Sometimes it has been misused. Like think about Nazism.
That's a lot misused.
Yeah, sometimes like Nazism. Graphic design was used for something really, really bad.
It's true. I know it's true. I agree with you.
It's true.
But one of the things they don't recognize
But actually,
that actually the role of a designer could be like a leader, a person that somehow lead the people and society and technology for uniting forces, uniting strengths, and uniting their passions and resources toward a goal. A goal that means to change and to help people.
It's true. Also, I can say something like design is culture. So
part of the culture.
Part of the culture. And when you're designing, you put the culture of your country in that design.
But this is a question for you though, Santiago. There's so many talented designers in South America. They do put their culture into the work.
Yeah.
But do you think that the companies or the ministry or the government don't let them do that?
The problem is
This is there's so many, especially in Ecuador, like there's people like Javier Perez and
Mario Fuentes.
Mario Fuentes and Christian Lasso and all these amazing talented designers. But in that case, like I don't think that the people or the government support them enough.
Obviously, they don't support it because they don't think design is so important.
Exactly.
Like Nicolas said, because they think like design is a draw, and you can make a draw so quickly. And it's more than that. You need to have a research about the topic, and you need to have the creative solution.
Creative process.
I would like to address the word, rethink the word of being a designer. I would call it a visualizer. A person who can dream something and somehow find the energies to make it possible. And I think here we need to understand that maybe a designer is that. Actually, a person who can make social changes.
That's the thing that in Ecuador or in South America in general is that I don't think that the designer is important. And that like you have like other designers that are awesome and unbelievable designers like Moses Romero is a fantastic. Actually,
it's true.
Is one of Play My Posters. It's like probably at this moment my favorite designer. Like I have others like Stefan Seidmeister, etc., Alan Fletcher. But you talk for someone like, for example, if Moses or Javier or etc. was in America or in London, they would be the best designers or one of the best designers in that country. And that's a big problem for South America because we need to keep the best designers in South America here. We need to keep them here because if we don't like support designers enough, we don't give them enough support and a knowledge, a credit for how awesome they are as designers, then they will leave. They will go to another countries.
Probably that's the dream sometimes.
That's true a lot of times. I know a lot of awesome designers in South America that have left, who went to New York, etc., etc. and that's a big problem for South America, because you could lose some of the best designers
in your own country.
in your own country. And in terms of the continent, South America, and I said it at the start of the podcast, South America has so much talent. It has so much talent. And
I think maybe they have more culture, visual culture, but we are saying again the problem is the governments and also the society.
society in general, it's not just, yeah, like you say, it's not just government. I think it's like the person on the street. It's like they don't think that design is important. It's not just like government or ministry or anything like that. It's more than that. Santiago, it's like the minds of the Ecuadorian and the South American people, that they think that design is not important.
And for example, how important it is for different countries, like for example, I heard from an article of something happening in Chile in which they are connecting their endeavors with China, in which they realize that everything concerning design has to do something with their industry. Somehow it is related with how is their GDP, how is going their economy. They're missing everything between publishing, press printing, product marketing, conceptual thinking, industries, audiovisual, cinema, and so many different industries, right? But graphic design has to do a lot with those things.
And design in general.
Exactly. In different countries, they see that they are interconnected. For example, a car industry, they need good branding, a good study for the marketing and stuff like that. But here we see things separately, and we don't realize that somehow design is a way to construct the cathedrals of knowledge that we require to make this a better society. And for example, what I mean,
and to put it down into like the final point is like, that maybe the thing that South America lacks is that it does not understand the value or how important it is for society in general.
That is true.
They don't. But that's the thing, guys. Like all the designers in South America, you're like so awesome. Like there's so many talented people. Like I don't want to keep on name dropping and saying all these awesome designers, but there's so many of you that my advice for you just to stay at it, to stay with your beliefs, and try to use design to make the world a better place and to make South America a better place. I hope you have enjoyed the conversation with Nicolas and Santiago.
Just I'd like to say something. Keep working. That is the key point.
Yeah, just to keep working hard and eventually you get your rewards. So yeah, please like our Facebook, view our videos on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. I've been your host, Christopher Scott, and we are Designer Speak.
Bye, guys.
Bye.